Well, good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I am your host, Horace, and we are so glad that you have joined us today. Whether this is your first time or you've been with us before, we honor your presence in this diverse, open, and affirmative community. So here's what I want you to know about today's message, because today's message invites us to reflect on our wholeness. So our theme for today is the journey to wholeness. The journey to wholeness. As we move through this service, I encourage you to stay tuned for the few announcements and opportunities later on, because I'm sure there's something meaningful unfolding there just for you. If you'd like to learn more about our community, CSL Charlotte, submit a prayer request and you can catch up on our past messages. Visit our website, cslcharlotte.org. And when you get there, you can click on and subscribe and stay connected. And you could also join us on all the various social links that will be talked about as well later on. So, before I pass the mic over to our awesome spiritual leader, I want to leave you with this quote. The journey to wholeness requires that you look honestly, openly, and with courage into yourself. Let me read that again to you. The journey to wholeness requires that you look honestly, openly, and with courage into yourself. And that is by Gary Zukav. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to our awesome spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale.
Well, good morning, everybody. And this is a beautiful day. This is the last day in November. Let's see. This is CSL Charlotte. We are the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. What else is so phenomenal about us is that we are right now in the last day of thinking about the Native American month. This was Native American Heritage Month. So right now, where we stand, everything is all good. So with that being said, well, make sure that you got your hearing aids on. No pun intended. So with that being said, just welcome. Now, the first thing we do is we open up with an affirmative prayer to set the tone. So let's do that. So the first person that we're going to bring up is my right-hand man, Alan. Alan Lilly is going to be the one to do that beautiful wholeness for us, and he's going to open up that prayer for us. So Alan, make it do very well for us this morning. Set us right.
All right. I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath as we connect to infinite source, infinite wholeness. And this infinite wholeness has created this marvelous universe, all the stars, all the nebulas, and just so much life, because it is the infinite source. And this infinite source expresses in us, as our wholeness, as peace, as joy, as love. And this is the source of everything. So as we move forward today with this service, we are inspired to become our best selves, to peel away the layers of doubt and fear that prevent us from becoming whole and complete. So I know that we are inspired, that we are thankful for this wonderful community, and I release this prayer out into the universe, knowing that everything is falling into place during our journey to wholeness. And so it is.
That is awesome. Thank you for setting the tone, Alan. So, the next one on our beautiful platform today is our person who's going to read the story of where we're going today and how we're healing today. And next on our platform is our reader, which is Jerry Campbell, aka Groovy G. So, with that being said, listen to Groovy's reading today and be open and receptive to hear what is your journey to wholeness. When is your journey to wholeness? And after that, you're going to hear a song called One Power to let you know that this whole wholeness comes from that space, which is in you and around you, and all your healing is there. So, for best results for the journey to wholeness, you need to balance that mind, body, and spirit. Groovy, make it do what it do.
Good morning. Good morning. It is such an honor to be able to read what Reverend Rosedale Jones has written for us. It's called Return to Wholeness and Fulfillment. One of the most liberating teachings in our philosophy is this: we are already whole, already complete, already created with everything we will need. Nothing in us is broken. Nothing has gone wrong in our becoming. Nothing is missing from our soul's design. Take that in for a moment. What a relief. It's like exhaling after holding your breath too long, remembering that life has been supporting you all along. Those of us devoted to spiritual growth can sometimes try too hard. Some people think that stacking course after course, book after book, ritual after ritual, believing they must earn their grace or improve their worthiness in order to receive wholeness. Actually, wholeness invites us to pause, soften, chill out, and breathe. Our oneness with spirit whispers, beloved, you already have it all going on. All it takes is spending time with yourself in practice. Wholeness is the ocean we are swimming in. It's always present. It's always available. It's revealing itself the moment we become still enough to notice. It shows up through self-awareness, through the sacred qualities of spirit that arrived with us the moment we touched earth. These gifts were preloaded into our spiritual DNA. This innate wholeness includes every arena of our lives: financial freedom, purposeful work, a thriving personal life, vital health, and the unfolding of spiritual expansion. Infinite abundance is not something to seek. It is something to awaken to. It is already here, already surrounding us, waiting for our recognition. And once we recognize that wholeness in ourselves, something beautiful happens. We begin to give to others from our overflow. If you desire more love, give love. If you desire more prosperity, give from whatever amount you have so you can support life. If you desire meaningful work, bring excellence to work you're doing now. Wholeness circulates through us when we share the very things we want to have. Do you recall in Star Wars, The Last Jedi? The rebels were down to one ship. They were exhausted, ragged, and nearly out of hope. It looked like the end. One person's spirit falters as she turns to Leia and asks, how do we rebuild from force from this? Leia said with soft certainty and shining eyes, we have everything we need. That is the essence of wholeness. The truth is often quieter than our expectations. Sometimes what we have doesn't look like enough through the lens of fear or compassion. Sometimes we are searching for what we think we should have and miss the treasure of what is already in our hands. Here's the puzzle. The moment we dare to see ourselves as whole, we gain the courage to step into life that wholeness is revealing. The moment we acknowledge our oneness with spirit, it begins to flow through us like a river returning to its course. We each carry the creative pulse of the universe. That pulse is an unlimited source that never runs dry. It is ours to recognize, activate, and trust. And that is the journey to wholeness. The following is a quote from our beloved Reverend Rosedale Jones. Nothing is missing. Nothing in us needs to be fixed. Nothing goes wrong during our journey to wholeness. And so it is.
Call it Lord, call it Buddha, Bahamula. You know what? Let me just tell you how powerful this wholeness journey is. When I think of that song, The One Power, we were sitting here, Groovy said, all is the way it needs to be. And before that, remember, prior to all that Groovy said, Timmy P has such a problem with his system and all that. And he just kept going and doing what the One Power said, and voila, he's doing the music, he's doing the things. So there is only one power, and we could call it any name we choose, but whatever name we call it, that's the name that resonates with us. That's what we did. And so this song we just heard just basically encourage us to feel this oneness with this one power. And every time we want to journey wholeness. Now that was just one example of the journey to wholeness today. So are you planning on going on for the rest of this week on your journey to wholeness, no matter what happens from day to day? I just have one simple question though. Is the journey to wholeness what you really want to experience? Because you just experienced one already. Well, you have a choice. And you can choose whether you want to notice this and incorporate spiritual practices in order to learn and to know what Journey to Wholeness means for you. So wiggle your fingers and your toes. And as you float your eyes back or your focus back onto this community, look around your space for a second and find something in that space that will connect you back to the present moment. Because it's really powerful to be in this moment. You see, the path to the most authentic way to live starts on your journey to wholeness. It's a profound idea, but it goes beyond this physical realm we are, flesh and blood and human bones, and deep into the essence of our being. You want to know how to heal from things like Alzheimer's, like high blood pressure, like everything? Stay in touch with this journey to wholeness. Wholeness is not just about the condition of our bodies, although it does connect with our bodies. Wholeness connects through our consciousness as the mind, body, spirit integration. It takes all three of them to run us on a daily basis, just like it takes gasoline in a car. When we practice yoga, it's all about mind, body, and spirit integrating. And this is all not just me saying it. It is science, because science is showing right now that our simple everyday choices, like exercising, like breathing really deeply, and quieting the mind, and caring about what we eat, maybe some supplements, and staying connected. You know what all of that does for us? It slows down the very processes that lead to Alzheimer's and dementia. Now let me just tell you about those two things. That's mind. But if people continue to separate the mind from the body and the spirit, then the mind begins to go into the fog. Bring it back. Because when mind, body, and spirit work together through practices like yoga, mindfulness, and good nutrition, I'm going to give you some examples about that. Guess what happens when all of that starts to be? Clarity of the mind increases. Memory starts to strengthen. And then all of that, the brain fog begins to lift. It's normal for people to have a brain fog. It's absolutely normal. And you've been doing it from the knee-high to a tadpole. When you were a child, you had those days. So don't call it age. It has nothing to do with how old you are. But you make a big deal of it. But let me tell you something. Wholeness is real, and it includes every part of us, like our thoughts. It includes our energy and what we do to this beautiful body temple. It includes all of that, every part of us. So spiritual wholeness is the balance and the integration of, I'm going to say it 1,001 times, but I've always said it, mind, body, spirit. It's the Trinity. Everything in every spiritual philosophy has a Trinity. When we talk in science terms, we have a Trinity. When we sleep, we start with the beta brain, we go into the alpha brain, and then we go into the theta brain. But regardless, we got a Trinity. So listen and pay attention to that around you. Because see, this is the thing. I'm going to tell you about this little mental health foundation. See, they have these mental issues that they have been studying for us. And it comes from different symptoms. They're saying that most of our brain symptoms come from our bodies and minds that are separated. When we separate the body and the mind and start thinking that, well, I just have to heal this, we got to remember, we have to get that mind in the game so that we can make sure we can sense the body. You can't sense the body well without the mind. So, it's not surprising that the mind affects your body, is it? Yeah, I can see you all going, yes, no. Okay, good. But check this out. Depression comes with headaches, sometimes fatigue, and digestive problems. Now, what happened? We're talking about mind and body because you're going down into the digestive area. Okay? Anxiety creates an upset stomach. Wow, why does everything come back? Anxiety is in the mind, is it? But it creates that upset stomach. Grief is in the mind. It creates that cancer. Okay? Depression creates that Alzheimer's. So these symptoms like insomnia and restlessness and difficulty concentrating, all of this is included. All of it. Now, here's the chapter of my own life and my testament to the journey to wholeness. Years ago, 20, 30 years ago, I had every time I look back and I see how great my life is now and how healthy I am today, I had the worst 30 years ago. And I'm in better health than I've been in all my life. And the best of health. But here's what happened. I see what happened and how my physical state was influencing my mental state back then. Over 3 decades ago, I found myself in the grips of depression and scarcity. My body reacted really violently to all of these things. And I'm telling you, just because you think it's just the body and you're not the mind, and let me tell you, get with this, because I had things like the ulcers, I had the high blood pressure, the cholesterol was very high out of the window. It was acid reflux. There was vertigo. I mean, I can't even name all of the things I had diagnosed with. But you know what? That period of my life has shown me that as I reflect back, I'm reminded of that deep connection between my mind, body, and my spirit. because I decided to go into the physical or the fitness end of my life, where that's not what the doctors were telling me back then. They were going, take this prescription, take that prescription, do this, do that. So remember, some of this, if you can remember to keep that mind, body, and spirit connected, you will find yourself doing the right things for your own body. And maybe you won't need that synthetic medication, but that's all up to you. So here's a study that I just finished yesterday, well, maybe a couple of days ago, on stress reduction. And they use these techniques of the mind. Guess how simple this technique that they use? Now, here's the National Institution of Mental Health. Again, they had 6 participants. No. They had 100 participants. And they had a 6-week program. And every week, they had these 100 people do 1 hour of yoga that was followed by a meditation delivered by their trained mindfulness personnel. That's what I could call myself as well, a mindfulness person. All right. So they showed a reduction in stress. The anxiety levels were totally improved, not just halfway. And then the other 100 that did none of that, nothing happened, no changes. But these changes happened. And after these people completed this 6-week yoga meditation program, it shows that they have adopted very well to the mindfulness practice once a week. And you know what? Imagine now I'm doing it more than that, but imagine doing that 6 or 7 times a week. Sometimes I'm doing it every day. I get a chance to do that more than once. See, I personally have clients that have been diagnosed with dementia and they recover. Some people believe they have to keep that disease too. Almost everybody that I work with, I do a lot of mindfulness work with because it's what helps. Now, at CSL Charlotte, what we do is that consciousness meeting every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. But let me just tell you about this practice. We, and all of us, get a chance to do this mindfulness practice, whether people are practicing on the outside or not. This is an opportunity for your healing. This is an opportunity to say, well, all right, I did it today. Well, let me do it tomorrow. Or let me do it just before I go to bed. Let me see if I can remember anything I got out of this consciousness meeting. Boy, it's not just dementia. It's not just the mind that's going to be healing. It's things inside the body, because the mind heals the body and the body heals the mind. It's all connected. And I like to toot my horn about that because I'm really, really good at this mindfulness transformation, because it started with me, then I started with 1 or 2 people at a time over the years, and now I'm doing big, large groups. And this is what makes me realize that if it works on me, it'll work on you, and it'll work on hundreds of other people. So since this is not like your norm for a spiritual community, you might want to appreciate that you're getting this every single week. Use it. I do everything possible that I can from then to now, and will continue to educate myself about anything that goes on with me. And there's something that goes on every now and then, and I say, okay, what do I need to do? And I literally try to figure that out. What about you? And not just with my physical mind. I just really think it's very good to realize what we do. I even get help from outside sources, people who know beyond their knowing, right? And I even do my own self-improvement. I make my own personal recordings and my books. Whatever I can do to elevate, that's it. And here's another thing. All my life, I started discovering all these beautiful spiritual communities and philosophies, and I respect them all deeply. But let's face it, all of us have been led by people who were led astray. In other words, we've all been led astray by people led astray. Get it? Because they all were following the masses all the time. Everything we learned was programmed in our consciousness, our thoughts, our ego, our feelings, and in our emotions. But that means that we have to forget what we learned and relearn the truth about us so we can do these beautiful transformations with our health, with our money, with our love life, with our relationships, with our family. Change has to happen in order to be something different than you were today or yesterday. Remember, the power is in your own mind. And here's my question. Are you ready to fully use your power in your mind, body, spirit connection? See, the main thing that leads us astray is that we're not authentic. And when we don't know our authentic self, then we get fixated on our thoughts. And if we don't understand what's going on within us or understand what we read or understand or study, then we get fixated on the wrong thoughts. See, from an early age, we tend to pour a lot of our energy into what the focus is of everybody around us. And our thoughts, we try to, we say, well, I don't want to ask this question because I'll figure it out. Because mostly our thoughts that we think we're getting could be wrong. I would say 70% of the things that we're thinking is wrong. So we need to go to places that we can feed that spirit and then come back into that wonderful thing. And that's when we need to take that time and return to that journey to wholeness. And that supports us in relearning. You see, once we shift that's what we get. Now you need spiritual practices in order to embrace the process. Now, what do we need to do in order to return to wholeness? Spiritual practice. And we have to trust that this is a learning curve. This is not something that, oh, I did a spiritual practice. Oh, I did this. Oh, I took this, let's say, for example, you do an MCT oil for brain fog, right? Oh, I took that one day. So now, no, all of these are practices. But you know what? Don't expect a one and done. Repetition is the mother of skill. You have to do these practices more than once. See, I love this concept of journey to wholeness, but it's not just one journey. If it's not just one day you live, then you got to make it 365 days if you want to live the whole year. And you got to make this journey to wholeness 365 times a year. Because making time for your practice really aligns you with the power to heal yourself. And you know what? This is no different than any other philosophy. Let me talk. I came from Christianity. The Bible has teachings and principles that show us how to begin the journey of wholeness. Now, I will say that the words exactly journey to wholeness is not a phrase in the Bible, but I can tell you about a book called Ephesians chapter 5, 15 and 16. They have something that they say, and here's what they say in those two verses. Be careful how you live, not naive, but informed. And they say make the most of every moment, so you won't be corrupted. And now here's the thing. What is that saying? So you won't be sick, or you won't be ill, so you won't be worried, or so you won't be upset, so you can have a better life. All of that is saying all of that. But you got to read it. And then you got to apply it to yourself. So yeah, I can see this Bible. So what does it mean for me? See, that verse encourages me to be intentional and tenacious. That means that I got to keep grasping any opportunity that presents themselves that sounds like it's something I can do. How do I know that? I'm going to try it. It's that simple. That simple try. That thing that comes from us to do, go do it. Here's the next thing. The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 34 says, It's about living in the now. See, when you're upset and worried or depressed, that plays in that mind. Remember, that plays in that body. Because when we are worried about the future, we're worried, right? When we are in the past, we're depressed, right? Because you can't redo that in the good old days, the good old days. No, this moment, now. So Matthew 6:34 says, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. But each day has its trouble of its own. So that means that we are reminded to turn to the journey to wholeness every single day. Every day. Because each day we wake up, we got a clean slate to start the whole new day off. It encourages me, anyway, to focus on the present moment, to trust my oneness with the spirit within me, because that spirit's in each and every one of us. What do you think beats your heart? What do you think blinks your eyes? What do you think moves your arms? What do you think keeps you alive all night long? But you gotta keep this body right to keep the spirit running inside you so that you can do that. But how do you do that? Remember, spiritual practice is one major thing. But I emphasize the importance of living in the present moment instead of the past, or worrying about what I'm going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Right now, I'm going to have the day of my life. I'm going to have a great old time. And that's what we got to remember. Right now, here's the thing. There's something that's really important in each and every one of us, and it was implanted in us from the day one. It's the thing about believing. Serious. It's a power. And it is that force of belief that creates and shapes our lives. It's not wishful thinking. I know people think it is, but you got to do this work. There's got to be a repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. We got to continue to do the same work every day. Just like you breathe every minute, you breathe every day. So why can't you just say, give me 5 minutes of just making my mind chill on the road when you're going somewhere? Because belief is not a fantasy. Now, it's a deep inner agreement with the truth of who we are. See, when we believe, we open the door for miracles, and these miracles meet us the minute we start to believe something about us. Miracles are not rare events. They are natural expressions of what's happening. You know what you would call a miracle is when you watch a falling star. You know what you may call a miracle? How did those trees all get there? You didn't do it. The universe did it. Right? The energy was already there. I can't say who walked around and put all those seeds down. Think about it. That's the miracle in and of itself. So if you want to know where, who, and what God is, look around you as you're driving in these beautiful cities and these beautiful woods. That's the harmony. So when you start noticing the harmony of nature, your mind, body, and spirit begins to harmonize. So when you believe in yourself and align with your mind, your body, and your spirit, your life creates outcomes beyond your biggest wows. A miracle. You go far beyond those fears that you used to have. And think about it. Are your fears as strong as they were 5 years ago? You still may have some, but are they as intense as they were 5 years ago? See, belief is an internal yes. It's an internal yes. And what happens is it gives life, the universe, the one power, something to respond to because you believe that. Now, if you believe that you're going to get ill, it gives the universe that to respond to. So there's your illness. You believe that there's a way. You may not know the answer, but there's a way. It's going to respond by giving you ways. And if you listen to yourself and you listen to some of the things you've learned, you will know this is the right way to go. So I practice this myself. See, in yoga, I moved into that, every one of us do if you practice, into a deeper, clearer, higher state of awareness of your body. See, it's where inspiration comes up and my heart becomes receptive. And when we touch that space in us, we touch the place where our belief becomes a knowing. It's one thing to believe, it's another thing to know. So on this journey to wholeness, you are learning to believe in yourself again. So trust the vision that's been planted in you, because at night, I talked about another trinity, beta, alpha, and theta. Well, in beta, that's your logical thinking mind that goes, the ego, if you will. And alpha is that mind that starts to take you to calmness, so that theta can give you the dreams of the things that you really need. But theta is the thing that practices, that plants that vision in you. So whether you remember what you dreamt or not, trust the process, because you got the answer in that trinity right there. And life will always come to meet you to whatever your belief is. It's going to meet you there, and it's going to have clarity, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whether you're on the love side or the fear side. Your clarity is going to be there, and it's going to bring you the courage to continue believing that way, even if it's not if it's erroneous, right? Or it's going to bring that abundance to you. And if you're on that fear side, you're going to get that clarity, courage, and abundance. If you're on that love side, you're going to get that clarity. Much lighter, though. Much better. And you're going to get the courage and your abundance. But guess what else follows? More good miracles. So there are definitely miracles when we believe. See, life will always be guided by that age-old word, believe. So believe, and you begin to remember your wholeness. It's not a cliche. It's not just a nice idea. Believe in yourself. Work towards that brighter future, and that wholeness within you will begin to be more possible than you ever dreamed in every part of your life. Not just your health, not just in your body, in your home, in your relationship with your family, in your bank accounts. Oh, every part of your life. I'm saying every part of your life. Belief is the doorway, the GPS, if you will, and the roadmap to help you find your journey to wholeness. So believe in yourself and believe in the life that is unfolding in you. Who was talking about what was unfolding already this morning? Horace, when he first talked about the unfolding. So work towards your best future with faith in being whole, in your finances, in your body, in your love life, in your friend's life, in whatever you choose. But make it be every part of your life. Because when you believe, the miracle has already happened. So let's hear these powerful lyrics that carry perseverance with the strength that we find from believing. So listen to the song When You Believe by Whitney and Mariah Carey. Girls, come on, you will believe. You will believe. When you believe, you will know it. She says, though hope is frail, guess what? It is hard to kill. You can't kill hope. So those two are something. Those are something else. Now, you know what? Think about that on your journey to wholeness. When they tell you a diagnosis, go start to believe that, wait a minute, this ain't my last day, like Horace does often. You don't want to be that last day. Okay? So remember, you will come to that wholeness when you're ready to believe, because there's emotional depth when you come to this spiritual practice to begin to heal. So with that being said, remember, although sometimes hope seems to be a little bit frail, you can't kill it. And that was just phenomenal. So guys, thank you, Timmy P and Horace. And you know, I just want to build a little bit on to what Horace and Timmy P was saying pretty much about our giving. Because most of us, we find ourselves returning back and forth here every single week because things have been touching us, like words. Maybe sometimes we heard a prayer that somebody said, and maybe one of those things landed just right on us. But you know what? When these beautiful aha moments wrap into us and we cannot explain how good it was, many of us just start to wonder, that's why I'm here. Because it's remarkable. So anyway, most of us practice on strengthening our whole spiritual background, especially in what ways to trust our life and our financial pockets that we have, right? So I trust in my ability to give back. It comes from my relationship with my oneness. What about you? If every breath that returned to us as a new breath, then every money that was given out by us returns to us with new money. Why not count yourself in to help us to consistently stay covered monthly, every single month, to take care of all of our phone lines and all the things we got to take care of? Because I know we're not alone, because I'm grateful to the most of us right now who have been sharing, who have been keeping us flourish. So that's just all I want to say about that. So when you decide that your giving is not a demand and your giving is a choice, you realize that you got that sacred yes in you. So are you ready to make that sacred yes? So just remember, it's just that powerful. So before we close out, I want you to remember this beautiful thing you heard today, and it's always a new word, and that's today was Journey to Wholeness. Remember that when you think about that in this next song and how you realize that you have to believe, what else do you need to believe in? Big time. Even when I didn't say it out loud, my mind knew I believed in something. That's why some of this stuff has happened for me. So reflect on your plan to believe in something, believe in yourself, but also believe in your journey to wholeness. And with that, think about this last word. Listen to the song, I Believe by Yolanda Adams. Fabulous, guys. Now we are ready we have gotten our journey to wholeness chewed on and understood. Now it's time for us to close out, right? Alan is going to now close us out.
Wow. We know that there's this infinite spirit, this infinite source, that is infinite wholeness. And I believe that expresses through me, and I am special. And I believe in being special. And all of us are special because we are all individualized expression of that infinite light, that infinite spark of wisdom, of life that lives within each and every one of us. Mm-hmm. So I know that as we journey towards wholeness, sometimes life has distractions. Sometimes there are detours that are unexpected. Sometimes we just pick up the mud along the side of the road and splash it over the car. But I know that as we believe, journey towards our wholeness, that we move beyond those detours, those distractions, those frustrating flat tires, because I know that life is all about wholeness. And we are already whole because we have that internal GPS in our cars guiding us on the way. And we all fly. We all are worthy, and we are all special. So I release this out, knowing that I am grateful for this community to remind us just how special and wonderful we are. And I release this out into this wonderful world, knowing everything is working out for us in perfect wholeness. And so it is.
Mm-hmm. And so it is. Thank you. What about the flat tires, Alan? Yeah, we don't want that to happen. So anyway, let's close it out. So as we wrap up our time together, everybody, just keep practicing on your journey to wholeness, because everybody needs something whole all the time. So just go for it. Practice walking. Practice doing a spiritual practice a little bit, and then once you've heard something from your heart and you know it's the right thing to do, just do it. Just do it. Just remember that the universe is constantly supporting you on your journey. And until we meet again, start with simplicity of living on this beautiful journey to wholeness. And so it is.